Hey guys, it's Tarek with Cyclone FPV. Let me straighten the camera out. All right, and today we are going to be going over the HGLRC Zeus board and the HGLRC buzzer and LED combo, and basically how to connect the two. So I'm gonna switch cameras here, as I always do. Let me go ahead and try to figure this out again, because I always mess this up. There we go. All right, so what we've got on the table right here is the HGLRC Zeus, and we've got the HGLRC buzzer and LED combo. And mainly what we're going to be doing is connecting to the, going over the connections here on where to connect the pads and where to connect the wires here. So I figured what we could do is, I like to always pull out the pamphlet or manual that comes with the board, which I have right here in front of me. Let me go ahead and put this here real quick. And what I want to point out to you is the way this diagram is drawn. You need to have the board, to understand the wiring, you need to have the board with the plug face up, and you can look at the wires here. So what it's going to tell you is the first cable, I know it's a little blurry on my screen here, but just trust me on this. The first wire, which is the blue wire, is going to be, let me move this over, is going to be the RSSI. The second wire is your signal 6 pad. The third wire is your ground. Your fourth wire is your 5 volts. Fifth wire is your buzzer. Sixth wire is ground. Seventh wire is 5 volts, and the last wire is going to be your LED wire, okay? And so what I'm going to do is, I'm only interested in using the buzzer and the LED. So I'm going to go ahead and automatically, right off the bat, I'm going to pull this out, right? And I'm going to begin removing the cables I don't need, but I'm going to save them, and I recommend you do the same, just so that if you do want to use them down the road, you can put them back in. So I'm going to switch camera views here. And bear with me a second, let me do that, and so I can show you exactly, show you exactly what I'm talking about. Hold on, let me, this picture-in-picture thing drives me nuts. There we go. All right, so let's do that real quick, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here, okay? All right, so I'm gonna get the old man glasses out here so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm gonna go ahead and take a very sharp point. So, and here it is right here. And again, here's the pamphlet, and the pamphlet says that the first wire on the left, basically, because this cable is going to connect with pins up like this, and so we're looking at the pamphlet the same way, so we're starting from the left to the right. So it's going to say that the RSSI is blue, the signal 6 is yellow, then we got black, ground, and then red 5 volt. Now I'm going to remove all of those because I don't need those right now, so I'm going to start with the blue, and I'm just going to gently lift the pad up, the tab here up. Let me show you how we're going to do that, and don't lift it too hard because you will snap it. So, and we're just going to pull the blue wire out, and we're going to save it, and it's going to come out with the connection still on it, so we can always pop it back in. All right, so it's just a good way to not have excess wire, but also not cut them or remove your chance of using this again. So we take the yellow out, and we're going to take the next two out, and we're going to work with the remainder of what we've got. Okay, so let me do it there. Take the ground out, and don't try to do more than one at a time, only because if one snags and one doesn't, then you could be sitting there and you could actually damage the cable itself. So let's just do that a little bit more gently here. And there we go. All right, so you can see we've got all 4 wires, and they all still have their terminated ends on them. Let me grab this yellow one. All right, so there's that. So we're gonna save those, and save those for a time if we ever do need them. Then you just basically go back and just press your tabs down. Just put them back in place like that, and you're good to go. And this is the result. The 4 wires that you will need to get your buzzer and your LEDs going. Now, I have a board already to set this up on, but I'm going to use this board just so that we can, well, actually, yeah, I'll use this board just so that we can give it a good test run, okay? So let me see. Actually, no, I'm going to pull the build out. So here's the build that I'm working on, right? And this is the Banshee, the U130. And the last piece, we did a custom cut here to be able to put the buzzer and LED on the back, and so now I'm just going to get this wiring done. So the first thing is we're going to slide this, put this back in properly. All right, and there it is. Push that up in there. Okay, now looking at the wiring diagram and how this is going, these are going to actually stretch all the way to the back, okay, and they're going to go under here. And so based on the diagram that we have, which is right here, sorry, let me grab that over. Okay, so here's what we're working with. And then here's our LED. And if you look on the back of the LED, you're going to see an input. The input is your LED from the board. Your output, which is on the other side over here, would be if you're jumping to another LED, but we're not going to. So you won't have really anything on the output. All right, you're only going to have something on the input. So we're going to use the input, and we're going to put our last wire, our LED wire, into there. We're going to add our ground and our 5-volt and our buzzer, exactly the same that they have on here. They have buzzer, ground, 5-volt, LED. So we're going to do buzzer, ground, buzzer, 5-volt, ground, LED. Okay, and we're going to hook it up that way, and we're going to see exactly what happens here and make sure that everything ends up working perfectly. All right, so let's give it a shot. First thing is, we can start with making sure our wires are the right length. Since we know the LED is going to be right about here, we don't need to go any longer than this. So let's go ahead and terminate these wires. All right, we're going to cut those. And now I'm going to go ahead and pull this plug out so that I can actually tin the wires, kind of have a little bit more freedom here to do that. So let me go ahead and lift this up and get ready to get my... And we'll just get started real quick. So again, you only want to tin it, but you only want to strip about 2 millimeters or so. So let's just go ahead and take about 2 millimeters of silicone covering off of these. All right, and so there's that. And then for me, I like to go ahead and dip these. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. I like to dip these in my flux paste. So I'm going to go ahead and just dip each of these into the flux paste here. I like, as you've seen me do before, I like the way that it just ends up soldering afterwards. So let me do that. Okay, and then I'm just going to kind of lean them up on something so I can just keep them off the pad here while I tin them up. So I'm going to tin them. I'm going to grab some solder real quick. And we're going to go ahead and tin these pretty quickly. Now, sorry, one thing I did forget to mention is once you do this, you want to go ahead and spin the wire and make sure that the strands are all spun up nicely. And that'll also press that solder paste in between the strands and kind of get it nicely and evenly spread between all of them. And then just bend the wires up to keep them off the table, I guess. And we'll get to soldering. So here's going to go 1, and then 2, and then 3. Okay. Then we'll get our last one right here. There we go. All right, everything looks good. Yep, and yep. Okay, so that's pretty much it for that side. Now we need to go ahead and prep the buzzer, right? So for that, we're going to get our flux pin. We're going to go ahead and just cover the 5 pads. It doesn't really matter at this point. I'm very generous with the flux pen there. And then get started on, now I'm gonna, even though we're not using the input right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and drop one anyway, just for consistency, and if in the future I do decide to expand this, then I've already got it prepped up. All right, so there's our 5 beads of solder right there that you can see. All right, and now we're gonna go ahead and connect the wires. So the first thing we wanna do is make sure we have a stable platform here, so I'm just gonna rubber band these snips closed. All right, like this. There we go. Okay, and now I'm going to bring the wire back, and here's the wire. And again, based on our diagram that HGLRC provides, we're going to start with, we'll go with our LED, and then we'll do everything else. Now the LED, even though it looks red, it's like a deeper, more maroon color, so it is different color. It's a deeper color than the 5-volt wire. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get this started. Make sure your stuff is good there, and then we're just going to go ahead and put the maroon wire to the input. It's a very quick solder. We're going to go ahead and take the ground wire, which is the black one, and go ahead and hit that as well. All right, and then we're going to take our 5-volt, and let me get all these out of the way. This is the white ones are buzzer, so we're going to hold off on that until we get to that point. Going to put our 5-volt on, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our buzzer on. All right, and there we go. All right, so now that is how it should look. Okay, and hope you can see that well. All right, now I'm going to test this out and make sure everything comes out clean and good. So here's my quad, and I'm going to hook it up to Betaflight here in just a second. But the main thing is, let's go ahead and plug it back in and make sure we have no problems. All right, so far it looks good. And then I'm going to go ahead and get this wire hooked up so I can put it on Betaflight. And there we go with that. Let me log into the computer here real quick. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. I gotta get the computer on here, and I will switch screens here in just a sec to make sure that we have. All right, so now let me go ahead and log in here. so we're in, and I will now add the computer screen. Bear with me a second, and I will get that done for you guys too. Let me find the mouse here. Here it is. All right. Let me go ahead and move this over, and let's get some screen sharing going, okay? So there we go. Let me add the screen. There we go. And you should now hopefully see, I'll put Beta Flight as the main screen, and I'll put the quad, and there you go. All right. So what we want to do is we're going to go ahead now and connect. Okay. And to make sure that everything is hooked up properly, I'm going to go ahead and get the LiPo here. And let's just make sure that we've got everything done properly. All right. Okay, so sorry, let me just go ahead and get this connected back again. I should just use an XT60 connection, and I'm not, so sorry for the delay. I use these alligator clips. Okay, so what we've got now is we want to test and see if our stuff is working here. So let's go ahead and go to our configuration tab. And we are going to go to our settings here and make sure that we have LED strip activated, and we're going to save that. Okay, that's our buzzer working, and there's our LEDs working, right? And so a real quick thing on LEDs is to set these up. It's very simple. Actually, let me disconnect and reconnect because I have a connection delay here. So let me just do that. Okay, so in order to do the LEDs properly, right, we're going to go to our wire order mode, right? And we know that we have two side by side. So we're going to pick 1 and 2, okay? And then what we're going to do here is we're going to tell it, let's say we want them to be, oh, I don't know, we'll say that we want them to do the color, and we want to do the Larson scanner. That'd be kind of neat, I guess, and we'll use red. Okay, and we'll do the same thing here. I meant to select both of them, but I didn't. So we'll say Larson scanner, and we'll use red. Okay, so now they're both going to be red. We're going to click save. Okay, now as you can see, they're going to now go. I think you can see that. Let me make sure that you can see that. And I'll just minimize the other way, but you can see now that we've got them going Larson scanner. Or if you want to do anything else, you can orient them with. But make sure you go to wiring mode, because once you get out of that, you're done configuring it, right? So there you go, and then you could just make them whatever you want. I mean, if you want to make 1 yellow and 1 green, and click save, then you're going to have something that looks like this. Okay, so. And you know, you can adjust it how you wish. So you could turn it on this way and click save, and now you're going to have them both kind of blinking however you want. But anyways, this is how you connect it, and now you've got your LEDs going. Okay, so that is a very quick and easy, and I'm going to go ahead and disconnect at this point, and we will go now and say, okay, so that pretty much is it. It's a very, 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 very quick job to do. Very easy job to do, and now I'm going to go ahead and finish the assembly of this, and then I will come back and show you guys what this looks like. All right, take care. If you have any questions, always let me know. Tarek at CycloneFPV.com. Check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CycloneFPV. Our Facebook is facebook.com/CycloneFPV. Hit us up on the website, and I'll help you any way I can. I love doing these videos, guys, and I hope they always help you all. Take care and talk to you later. Bye.